Hi guys, it's Callum from Rise Motorvalting here, and in today's video I'm going to show you how to safely clean your engine bay. I think it could be quite scary at times to clean your engine bay, but as long as you protect certain areas properly, make sure that you bag up any belts, any electric components that are exposed, bag them up, put some tin foil over them, put a plastic bag over them, stop any water from getting into them, and you should be fine. So in today's video I'm going to show you how to completely clean your engine bay. Not so much detail, I think there's levels to cleaning anything when it comes to valeting or detailing, but with the engine bay we're not going to go into all the cracks and crevices, we're not going to get rid of 100% of the dust, but just sort of everything that we can see is going to be rinsed down and cleaned and then protected afterwards. So the first step is to make sure that you've got a bucket ready. I've got my wheels bucket ready. I've got 3 buckets, 1 for the wheels and 2 for the paintwork. The paintwork ones don't go anywhere near the engine bay. So I've filled up a bucket with clean water and I've put some bodywork shampoo in it as well. Not any real reason why, I want it to cut through the grime. You can use some tools that you use for the wheels, i.e. you could use the wheel alloy brush, you could use some normal brushes that you use on the wheels. Anything underneath here, most of the stuff isn't paint, so you can go to town with brushes and stuff and you can clean it and agitate all the dirt and get rid of it a lot safer. So after you've bagged everything up, you want to make sure that you rinse everywhere down. Always start from top to bottom. You want to rinse the top end first, then you want to rinse here, and then you can rinse the whole of the engine bay down. So let's get cracking on with it. First port of call is to make sure that this is all clean. You always start from top to bottom when you're working on the car or you're working underneath the bonnet. Rinse it all down. You can use a pressure washer. If you're going to use a pressure washer, just keep it a safe distance away, but I'm using just a regular hose attachment. This is probably the safest way to do it. So let's get cracking on with rinsing it down. I'm going to get it on a setting that's not too strong. You don't want too much water, less is more really. So next I've got some all-purpose cleaner in a pump sprayer. Just easier than having to keep spraying all the time. You just got this all-purpose cleaner, dilute it 10 to 1. Just be generous with it. Just rinse it. Just make sure that everywhere is covered. So here's a little trick for you. If you don't want to spend the money to buy detailing brushes, you can always just use a regular paintbrush. It's very easy just to get in all the little cracks and crevices. If the brushes aren't stiff enough for you, just cut them down and keep cutting them down until they're the right stiffness for you. I would probably not use these on paintwork though. I'm not sure how safe they are, so don't blame me if you use them on the paintwork and then you end up scratching. So we're going to clean this area now, rinse it all off, and then we can focus on the engine bay itself. Another thing you can use is your dedicated wheel wash mitt. It's great for sort of covering larger areas. So now we're on to the engine bay. It probably is already quite wet, but we're going to spend our time cleaning this out now. We're going to split the engine bay in half, work half at a time. If If you want to work all of it at the same time, then feel free, but I would recommend maybe cutting up into sections. If you split up into sections, then on a hot day this half won't dry out whilst you're still cleaning this half. So we're going to focus on one half at a time, and I'll show you the process as to how I do it. So my first step is to rinse down the engine bay. You want to remove as much dirt as possible without having to touch it. Saves you a lot of time. So again, you don't want it on a hard jet necessarily, but just start rinsing everything down. Don't forget to do the little the door jambs here as well, because these will accumulate dirt over time. So again, now everywhere is wet, use your all-purpose cleaner again and spray it around. Don't be afraid to use a lot of it. Next, we'll use some sort of degreaser. I've found this in the garage, so I'm going to. This is just Auto Glimmer's motorcycle degreaser. It can degrease engine bays and stuff. So give this a good spray. You want to make sure that there's no grease left in here, ready for when you put your protection on. So now we've cleaned and degreased our engine bay. We've rinsed all the dirt off, so any loose standing dirt has now come off. The engine bay looks really good, it looks really clean. So the next thing to do is to dry it. I'm going to dry the engine bay really quickly, and then we can get on with putting the protection on. These microfibre cloths shouldn't be used on the paintwork again. These are only for engine bays. I use these for tyres as well. Clean them straight afterwards, use them on the tyres. But do not use these back on the paintwork. Don't use them in the interior, don't use them on anything else besides the engine bay and the tyres now. So once they get too bad, just throw them out, get some new ones, get some cheap ones. Don't spend an arm and a leg on nice cloths. As soon as you use them on here, they're going to get really dirty. So just thought I'd point that out. These are only like 8 for £1 or something, very cheap. So cheap ones on the engine bay, that's it. So you don't have to dry the engine bay entirely. Make sure there's no standing water or any electric components or anything like that, and you should be okay. Next thing to do is to enhance all of the rubber and plastic and make sure that everywhere is looking cool and protected. So what I use is CarPro PERL diluted 3:1. So you want to use 1 part CarPro PERL and then the next filled with water. This will enhance all the black, make it look pretty, make it look cool, and yeah, let's get cracking on with it. Okay, so hopefully now your engine bay is fully clean, fully protected for the winter, and if you're watching this in the summer, it's protected for the summer. If you do have any questions, leave them down in the comment section down below and I will make sure I answer them for you, and until next time, thanks.